What if everything you've been told about the world, the government, religion, and even the laws you follow is nothing but an illusion? Imagine a system so intricately designed that it controls nearly every aspect of your life without you even realizing it. What if the truth has been right in front of your eyes this entire time, hidden behind symbols, rituals, and codes you've been conditioned to accept without question? This is not just speculation. It's a reality that has been carefully orchestrated over centuries. In this video, we'll dive deep into the two ancient laws that form the backbone of nearly every system you encounter today, shaping everything from politics to finance to your very sense of freedom. But be warned, understanding these laws might change everything you thought you knew about the world. For decades, one man has worked tirelessly to uncover the truths hidden behind these laws. His name is Jordan Maxwell, and his life's work revolves around exposing the hidden forces that govern our lives, forces most of us are completely unaware of. According to Maxwell, two laws, originating from ancient civilizations, are the foundation of all the systems that control modern society. These laws, operating in the background, are at the heart of everything, from how governments structure themselves, to how financial systems work, and even to the way personal freedom is often just an illusion. You've probably never heard of these laws before. Why? Because understanding them could shatter the narrative that keeps society in check. These laws are the invisible hands shaping your reality, but most of us remain oblivious to their influence. In fact, these systems rely on your ignorance to maintain control. But once you begin to uncover these truths, the world around you will never look the same again. The power of symbols. The first piece of the puzzle lies in something we encounter every day, but never stop to think about: symbols. From the moment you're born, symbols are carefully placed into your life, guiding your thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways that you don't even realize. They're not just logos or religious icons. They are tools designed to shape your perception and influence your subconscious mind. Take corporate logos, for example. These are not just simple branding tools. They are symbols filled with hidden meanings that trigger certain psychological responses. Think about the Shell logo, a scallop shell. This isn't random. It has deep symbolic roots going back to ancient traditions. Or consider the Chevron logo. What you see as a simple design is actually connected to much older archetypal symbols. These companies, knowingly or unknowingly, tap into these ancient symbols to influence your behavior and decisions. Even religious symbols, which are often seen as purely spiritual, have a dual role. While they may serve to elevate consciousness and foster a connection to the divine, they can also be used as tools for control. When we fail to look beyond the surface of these symbols, we fall victim to their power, without even knowing it. The two ancient laws, the foundations of control. At the very core of the systems that govern our world are two ancient, powerful laws: the law of the land and the law of the sea. These are not simply theoretical ideas or abstract constructs. Rather, they reflect humanity's long-standing relationship with both the physical world and the shifting, intangible forces of commerce. Together, they shape almost every aspect of modern life, influencing how society functions, how authority is exercised, and even how we perceive our own freedom. The law of the land. A foundation rooted in tradition. The law of the land is the system of laws, customs, and traditions unique to each region, culture, or nation. When people think of law, this is generally what comes to mind. Laws that govern communities and create a framework for society, defining right and wrong, protecting citizens, and preserving order within a given territory. Rooted in the soil, so to speak, the law of the land is influenced by the history, values, and customs of the people it serves. This law is, in essence, the legal expression of a society's identity, guiding everything from property rights and social contracts to moral codes and individual responsibilities. These laws connect people to their physical environment and community. They outline the ground rules for everything from everyday interactions to major societal functions like education, governance, and property ownership. However, the law of the land is just one half of the equation. While it governs the day-to-day lives of individuals within a specific territory, it operates within a larger framework, one that extends far beyond any single nation's borders. That larger framework is governed by a more subtle yet potent force: the law of the sea. The law of the sea, maritime admiralty law, the invisible force governing global systems. While the law of the land may seem familiar, the law of the sea, also known as maritime admiralty law, is far less visible but vastly more influential. Originating centuries ago, maritime law was initially designed to regulate trade, navigation, and commerce over the vast, unpredictable waters that connect continents. In an era where empires expanded through maritime exploration and goods traveled across oceans, there needed to be a unified, consistent legal framework for resolving disputes, governing contracts, and ensuring the seamless exchange of goods. Maritime law became that framework, establishing principles that allowed for order in an increasingly complex web of international commerce. But maritime admiralty law did not remain confined to the seas. Over time, as trade and commerce became more central to societies worldwide, the principles of maritime law seeped into the structure of governments, legal systems, and financial institutions. Today, it extends its influence well beyond shipping and trade routes, underpinning much of the global financial system. Through subtle mechanisms, the principles of the law of the sea shape how we interact with money, how legal documents are interpreted, and how governments exercise control over citizens. How maritime admiralty law governs the global financial system. One of the most significant ways maritime admiralty law infiltrates our lives is through the financial system. In maritime law, assets are considered cargo that can be traded, insured, and, if necessary, salvaged or recovered. In the modern world, these concepts have been applied to individuals and their property in ways that most people remain unaware of. When we use terms like liquid assets or cash flow, we are invoking the language of maritime law. Money moves through the financial system, much like water through channels, controlled by banks, which, just like riverbanks, direct its flow. Even the birth certificate, a document every individual receives shortly after birth, is often linked to maritime law in certain interpretations. In this view, a birth certificate is a legal representation of an individual as an asset within a commercial system, much like the manifest of a ship's cargo. From the moment we are born, this legal construct ties us to the larger system of commerce, where our lives are indirectly influenced by maritime principles. The legal system, a stage for maritime principles. When you enter a courtroom, you might believe you are stepping into a space governed solely by the law of the land, where the rules are based on local laws and customs. But in many ways, the courtroom is an extension of maritime law, a place where individuals are treated less as living beings and more as legal entities subject to a system of commerce. The language used in courtrooms, terms like court, dock, and judge, has roots in maritime practices, and the procedures often echo the transactional and hierarchical nature of sea-based law. For instance, the term court itself is derived from the concept of a vessel docking at port, a place where commercial transactions are settled. The judge, dressed in black robes, symbolically represents Saturn, the ancient deity associated with boundaries, control, and law. This attire isn't arbitrary, it is deeply symbolic, echoing the same forces of control and authority that govern the seas. The structural elements of the courtroom, such as the bench and the bar, further underscore these connections. The bar, in particular, is a reference to the dividing line between maritime jurisdiction and the outside world. Lawyers are said to pass the bar when they qualify to practice law, a phrase with origins in the physical barrier separating maritime law from common life. The impact of these laws on personal freedom and autonomy. Understanding these two laws reveals a hidden system of control that extends into nearly every aspect of our lives. While the law of the land appears to provide structure within a society, The law of the sea operates behind the scenes, subtly influencing financial systems, legal definitions, and even individual identities. Together, they create a framework that, in many ways, limits our freedom and shapes our perceptions of reality. These laws rely heavily on symbols, rituals, and language that most of us accept without question. By remaining unaware of the influence these laws wield, we inadvertently allow them to control aspects of our lives, from how we earn and manage our finances to how we understand our legal status. But by recognizing these ancient laws and understanding their reach, individuals can begin to see the systems at play, and in doing so, reclaim a measure of personal sovereignty. Ultimately, these laws are more than historical artifacts or obscure legal principles. They are active forces in the modern world, embedded in the very systems that govern how we live, work, and interact with each other. Only by uncovering the truth about these ancient laws can we hope to understand the deeper structure of the reality we inhabit and begin the journey toward true autonomy and freedom. Money, banks, and maritime law. The financial system, much like the movement of water, operates in currents, flowing and shifting through controlled channels. Money, in fact, mirrors water in its behavior and language. It flows through banks, named after riverbanks that direct water, which serve to manage and control its movement. Just as rivers channel water to different destinations, financial institutions direct the flow of money to where it is most strategically aligned with the interests of the system. This connection between finance and water is not coincidental. It's deeply embedded in the very language we use to discuss wealth. Terms like liquid assets, cash flow, and frozen assets all stem from this symbolic relationship, underscoring the parallels between finance and the natural flow of water across seas and rivers. This maritime influence on finance doesn't stop at vocabulary. It is woven into the very structure of how individuals are linked to the financial system from birth. When you were born, you unknowingly entered this maritime-based commercial framework. Your birth certificate, a document you might think of as simply a record of birth, functions similarly to a cargo manifest on a ship. It anchors you within the financial system, making you a participant in global commerce. This document registers your existence within the commercial and legal network that operates behind the scenes, connecting you to the broader mechanisms of trade, banking, and finance. This connection means that your citizenship, often thought of as a purely national identity, is, in reality, a commercial designation. It is not just a reflection of your home country or cultural identity, but rather a legal construct that ties you to the complex web of global finance. From that first document, your existence is framed within a system designed to categorize individuals as entities within the vast machinery of commerce. This classification affects not only how you interact with financial institutions, but also subtly dictates the way you participate in the larger economic ecosystem. By understanding this maritime influence on finance and recognizing that it extends beyond mere terminology, you gain insight into how deeply our lives are enmeshed in a system that treats individuals as parts of an economic structure. It is a system built upon centuries of maritime law, regulating not just the movement of goods, but also the very notion of identity, binding you to a global framework that shapes every aspect of modern life. And speaking of systems that shape our lives, there's something else you need to know. Recently, a rogue NASA scientist has come forward, revealing shocking secrets on how to attract wealth effortlessly. And this knowledge has already transformed millions of lives. This video has been repeatedly deleted from YouTube, but you can still find it in the first pinned comment below. It's going viral within the spiritual community and across social media, so don't miss out. Click the link in the pinned comment before it's taken down again. Now let's get back into the exploration. Religion and the system of control. Religion, too, plays a pivotal role in maintaining the systems of control. Far from being a purely spiritual domain, religion functions much like a corporation. It uses symbols, rituals, and dogma to influence large groups of people. Maxwell often pointed out the striking similarities between religious institutions and corporations in how they structure themselves. Take the example of Saturn again, the ancient god of boundaries and limitations. The black robes worn by judges, priests, and even university graduates all pay homage to Saturn's authority. These robes are not simply a tradition. They are a symbolic reference to control and power. Furthermore, the concept of God, as seen in many organized religions, has been shaped to align with the systems of governance. For instance, teachings related to the dog star Sirius in ancient Egyptian cosmology were integrated into modern religious frameworks, linking religion directly with governance and control. The courtroom is a stage for maritime law. Every time you step into a courtroom, you are walking into a space governed by maritime law, where you are no longer seen as a living person, but as a legal entity. This transition is symbolic. Just as a ship leaves the open sea to dock at port, you are crossing over into a jurisdiction where you are treated as part of a larger system. A system that governs commerce, not your individual rights. The phrase "passing the bar," used to describe an attorney's qualification, is another subtle reference to this maritime framework. It refers to the physical barrier separating the maritime jurisdiction of the courtroom from the outside world. This seemingly innocent phrase is a direct nod to the maritime system that governs legal proceedings. Awakening to the truth. So, why is all of this important? What difference does it make if the laws of the land and sea shape the world around us? The answer lies in the fact that understanding these laws and the symbols that support them can give you back your freedom. Jordan Maxwell spent his life unraveling these truths to empower individuals to see beyond the veil of illusion. He believed that once you understand the systems that govern you, you can begin to break free from their control. This journey starts with knowledge. Knowledge that exposes the hidden mechanisms of control and allows you to navigate life with a newfound awareness. But it's not easy. Modern society thrives on distractions. Entertainment, consumerism, and political theater keep your attention diverted from the things that truly matter. As long as your mind is occupied with these distractions, you remain a pawn in a much larger game. To break free, you must redirect your focus. You must step away from the noise and start questioning the systems that control you. Maxwell's message is crystal clear. Awareness is the key to true freedom. When you unlock the hidden language of symbols, grasp the deeper meanings behind the laws that govern us, and see the true purpose of the systems in place, you begin the journey to reclaiming your personal autonomy. This path isn't easy. It takes courage to question long-held beliefs and face the discomfort that comes with awakening. But the rewards? They are life-changing. Every person who seeks out this truth contributes to a powerful collective awakening. When you awaken, you naturally inspire others, setting off a ripple effect that has the power to challenge the status quo and ultimately change the world. Maxwell's mission wasn't just to expose hidden truths. He wanted to give people the tools to reshape their own reality. And it all starts with knowledge. So the question remains, are you ready to reclaim your power? Are you willing to break free from the systems that have quietly held you captive and embrace a higher understanding of yourself and the world? The choice is yours. If you're on this journey with us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content that sheds light on the unseen forces shaping our lives. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please share your insights in the comments below. Let's continue this path to understanding together and build a community of awakened minds.